Say hi everyone. Hi. Today I wanted to talk about all of the struggles I found with weight loss and having PCOS and everything like that. So let's start with the mental aspect of weight loss. So the one thing I've noticed that has been the hardest about losing weight is genuinely the fact that I've had to keep like a record of my weight. And I do so about once every fortnight or once every 3 weeks. I will weigh myself and I will write down that number. That number has become really pinnacle to my journey or really important to my journey to see if I'm on track or not. And that is something that I haven't had to do before when I've been in a healthy mind frame. When I recovered from my eating disorder when I was 19, 20, I spent the next pretty much 4 to 5 years not focusing on my weight. And I gained weight, lost weight, my weight ebbed and flowed. Like, I don't know that for sure based on the scale, but I noticed it in my clothes and the way that I appeared and things like that. When I look back on pictures, I see that weight fluctuate with my PCOS and hormones and everything like that. When I was 24, almost 25, I said, I can't live like this anymore. Like, I really actually genuinely couldn't live in my body anymore comfortably. I knew I needed to make a change. I knew that that meant that I could face triggers. And the triggers that I would always have is looking in the mirror or looking at pictures of myself when I was a teenager, when I was thinner, thinking about the way that I appeared to other people. Those were my triggers that I didn't care about anymore. But I think I did deep down, but I didn't really focus on because I didn't have to. I was just living my life. Knowing that I was going on a weight loss journey and knowing I was going on a fitness and nutrition journey meant that I was going to have to become aware of those things. And that was that was the hardest thing for me to face, was that for years I hadn't had to think about it because I avoided it. And now I was facing it and it was really scary. So I get it. If you're a girly like me who was confident when she was big and is confident now that she's a little bit smaller and that I will be even smaller in the future, like that was a really difficult thing to know. My body's going to change, my clothes are going to change, my weight's going to change, and people are going to receive me differently and I'm going to receive myself differently. That was really scary for me. And that was like the hardest part of my whole journey. And that's why I started it right off the bat. The hardest part was the fact that I had to face that I was going to change and that my life was going to change and that the way I approached my confidence and my body was going to change. And that was really scary, but I did it and I'm a year into it and I'm still doing it, but I've really kind of found my own little method to keep myself in a healthy space. Because eating disorders are another thing that can come up with weight loss. You can absolutely be completely re-triggered into eating disorder mind frames of, I shouldn't eat this, or this is bad, or this is good. Like, you have to face them. And I've definitely had those thoughts or had moments where I've thought, oh, should I have eaten that? Should I have not eaten that? And it's really important that you go, I'm in a different frame. I'm older now, I'm wiser now, and I need to do what's healthy for my body. Like, weighing yourself and seeing you've gained weight, it's a really weird feeling now that you're in a healthy mind frame, because my immediate reaction is, oh, that's higher. Oh, it must be because of this and this. And I always kind of go, oh, it's probably my period, or it's probably stress, it's probably fluid, or it's probably the time of day. When before it was like, I'm not trying hard enough. I didn't walk as much as I usually do. Instead of reframing it as it's my fault, I reframe it as, oh, this happens and this is a natural anomaly in my body where I'm a woman and I get my period cycles now and life can throw curveballs and things can become stressful, or travel and things like that. You will have to face sometimes that initial thought of what have I done, and then go, wait a minute, this is completely normal and this happens, and weight fluctuations will absolutely happen. You can't weigh yourself and just have consistently going down. There will be ebbs and flows. You've got to be prepared for that. You've got to get it. And these are things that I wish I knew in the beginning, was that when you go on a GLP-1, when you go on Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, people will think that when you inject, it just, all of a sudden you just lose weight, but you actually have to put in a lot of effort still. You're still eating clean, you're still exercising, you're still consuming more water, electrolytes and vitamins are really important because you might not be eating as much, but your blood sugar is being balanced. It's like a whole bunch of science. And that goes into the next part. The scientific education aspect of weight loss, I never thought that I was going to have to know as much as I do now. When I first started my weight loss journey, I knew a little bit about PCOS. It wasn't until I did deep dives into insulin resistance and PCOS and gynecological endocrine issues and gynecological issues and your genetics and things like that, that I realized that weight loss is really scientific. It is super hyper scientific. Getting into calories and cells and proteins and sugars in the blood and all that stuff, I didn't expect that I would. One, you don't need to know all of this, but me being a curious cat, I was like, what is calories? Like, how does that work? What is that? How does that work in the body? And how do they know this? And so I've been on a year kind of like, almost like I'm studying it, nutrition, wanting to know how the body absorbs fiber and why is that important and what does this do and what does water do to the body? Going really in depth, to be honest, maybe a little bit too in depth, but I didn't expect that I needed to know so much. I also didn't expect how much I didn't learn or didn't didn't know from school. I didn't know the importance of fiber or protein. I didn't even really know anything except for calories are bad. That's all I knew. I didn't know how much calories I should have. I didn't know how much calories anyone should have. I didn't know how much protein I should have. I knew sugar's bad, salt's bad, really things that are high calorie are bad. That's all I knew. That was the extent of my knowledge, was negative. I didn't know the benefits of calories. I didn't know the benefits of sugar or the benefits of sodium. I didn't know any of that. All I knew was you should only eat salads and vegetables and fruits, when in reality we should have a range of different things in our diet, and vegetables and fruits and salads are great and you should definitely have them in your diet. They're not the only things that are important. Like, your body genuinely needs carbohydrates, genuinely needs sugar, genuinely needs salt for energy and for your body to restore itself, and for really good sleep, and for your skin and your hair and your brain fog and your nails and your muscles. You need to have all those things in your body, and I just genuinely didn't even know that those things were important. So I learned a lot about the human body, and with PCOS, learning that I used to think it was just a gynecological issue. That's what I was told, and then I realized it's actually not even a gynecological issue. It is an endocrine issue, and it impacts your ovaries, it impacts your menstrual cycles and things like that, but it is not a gynecological issue solely. It's a hormonal issue, it's an insulin issue. You will probably deep dive about your body and be like, why do I grow excess hair, and why is testosterone not the greatest for a menstrual cycle? And trust me, you're going to deep dive that, and I go into that in some of my past videos. But if you guys have any questions, I am going to be filming a answering video, so if you have any questions, leave them down below, or message me, email me, and I will most likely get to your question in one of my next videos. The next one is the exhaustion aspect, and I'm not talking like just physical exhaustion. I'm talking the emotional exhaustion. It can be really exhausting making sure you're hitting your protein, making sure you're hitting your fiber, making sure you're getting your exercise in, making sure you're timing your injections right, making sure you're balancing your blood sugar. These are things I never thought about before. These are things I would never even really cross my mind for months on end. I wouldn't think about how much protein have I had this week, and have I eaten enough fiber, and how are my bowel movements, and how's this and that. I never thought of that before. Wasn't aware that those were important until I realized that my body is what keeps my mind going. My body is what keeps my lifestyle going, and when my lifestyle was faulting as a result of my body faulting, my body not being in a healthy place, that is when I realized, oh, my body is actually really important. My body is actually really fucking important. My digestion is important. Knowing my stomach, knowing what foods trigger reflux, sulfur burps, what's really good for my body, what isn't the greatest, and how can I blend the two rather than icing, you know, burgers out and only eating salads. How can I culminate them? How can I make safe switches? And this comes into exhaustion. When you are learning how to exist in a different body, in a different lifestyle, you will inevitably fail. How do you approach your failure? With an exercise that didn't work for you, a supplement that didn't work for you, or a vitamin that didn't work for you. Those things you will have to face. You will have to think on your feet, and you'll have to kind of game plan, and you will learn in time like what will and won't work for you. For me, for example, protein bars don't work for me. I tried and I tried and I tried. They're all fucking gross. They do not work for me. Ironically, it can be really exhausting planning for exhaustion. It can be really tiring planning for when you are going to be tired. And so those things you will have to kind of work with, or understand periods of your life when things are really hectic. For example, traveling, or Christmas, or birthdays, or going back to work, or having time off. Those things you've got to think about. What can I have that I can eat? What exercises can I do that work for me? What de-stressing things can I do? And it's totally okay to go a week without going to the gym. This is life. Life is going to happen. You have to understand life will happen. Those things are going to happen in your journey, and you just have to literally say to yourself, like, this is my journey. I feel really shit about it. What can I do to make myself feel better? And if that thing is, I know I'd feel so much better if I went for a walk, but I have no energy to go for a walk right now. Like, I have nothing in me. Walk around the house. Walk on a walking pad. Ask a friend to take you to the gym come to the gym with you. Walk to the mailbox and back. Whatever you can do, you can make adjustments. You don't have to do 10,000 steps a day. You don't have to hit the gym every day. If your goal genuinely is for this to be sustainable, you need to find ways to keep it sustainable and easy. You have to have self-kindness. You have to go, I'm really tired and I can't turn up for this journey right now, but I can turn up for self-kindness. While exercise might disappear out of your equation and it's no longer on your dashboard, you go, oh, exercise is gone, my body can't do it anymore. That kindness button is ingrained in that dashboard, and it will never disappear, and you can always press on it. You can always go, I need self-kindness, what can I do? So that is something that I've had to really learn, that it isn't all everyone shows online, that it's this constant grind and it's this constant achievement and weakness and discipline and all this stuff. That is not a lifestyle. That is a trend. That is a warped way of thinking about life. You will have change, and you will have really difficult things pop up, and you'll have life happen. And what can you do for yourself then? Kindness. Your weight loss journey is not the forefront, okay? The next one is is unlearning everything that you've been taught about diet, exercise, nutrition, female body, the female cycles, hormones. Everything that I learned in school or that I've learned from social media is often false. It is through the lens of white bodies, male bodies. So for me, I had to look at my culture, my identity as an Indigenous person. How is my body different? And I'm really lucky. In Australia, we have actually an Indigenous eating chart. I'll pop it up. So it's different to the Western white cultured eating chart. Our foods look different. And while I don't always eat according to the Indigenous chart or according to the Western chart, sometimes I'll hit up Mediterranean type eatings and stuff, but I'm not sticking to a set diet. I believe that diet culture and the diet weight loss world would not be a multi-billion-dollar industry if it actually worked. They're going to market the next best thing. You look at the Dukan diet, and then you look at the vegan diet, and then you look at the carnivore diet or the keto diet. These things come in to entice people, or mainly women, plus size women, that they need to change, or they're fundamentally doing something wrong and they need to change everything about what they put into their bodies because they're making the mistake. So it's really important that you look at things with a little magnifying glass and go, has this person experienced my experience? Would this genuinely be sustainable for the rest of my life? Am I going to eat steak, avocado and eggs off of a chopping board and butter? Does that make sense for me? Is that sustainable for me? Does that make sense? So you need to learn about your body. If you have insulin resistance, should you only be eating fruit? No, you should be having protein with any sugars that you have. That's something you should know, right? And I'll tell you that right now. Like I said, I'm making a question and answer video where you guys can ask me any more questions and I'll answer them best to my scientific knowledge as possible. You know, I'm not a nutritionist. Learn about your body and what works. Do you feel thriving after you have eggs on toast, or do you feel fucking sick? Do you feel really good after you eat steak, or do you feel really sick? Does chicken work really well with your body, or you notice that your skin clears up when you eat mangoes? But why do I break out every time I eat mandarins? Like, think about your body. A set diet that's made by a company that's selling you a weight loss tea or selling you a course isn't really for you, but it is for your part of yourself that just wants help. And they prey on vulnerability, and they prey on pain. Pain marketing is what I call it. I actually forgot to say that. Pain marketing. They will go for your pain, which for you could be weight loss, fertility, facial hair, whatever it is. They will go for that. And you got to think about, the reality is weight loss is slow. Healthy weight loss is slow, and weight loss, it takes different methods for each body, and food looks different for everyone, and culture and bloodlines and genetics all look different. Just remember that when you see things that are like, if you want to lose 10 kilos in 1 month, take this weight loss tea. Probably not for you, babe. Or really for anyone. No one should be doing that. That's insane. The next thing is what this journey has taught me. And what it's taught me is an immense amount of self-trust. I didn't realize how much I wasn't trusting myself. I didn't realize that in order to turn up for myself, I need a pretty equal balance of pushing myself and my comfortability. I get stuff in my algorithm about you should wake up and immediately plunge your face into ice water. That is so... Okay, first of all, that's fucking insane. Second of all, that is a method used to calm the nervous system. So if you wake up in a panic attack, right? You wake up with a panic attack. Plunging your face into ice water will regulate your nervous system. That is science. Native Americans use that method where they would splash water in the face to regulate the nervous system. Are they going to mention that that is a Native American tactic to regulate yourself? No, they never do. But what they do say is the Wim Hof method. Now, it has actually been scientifically proven that the Wim Hof method raises your cortisol, so spikes your cortisol. The problem with that is women should not be having rapid spikes in cortisol. The Wim Hof method works really great for male bodies, but doesn't work equally as great for female bodies. Spiking our cortisol, particularly if you have PCOS, is actually really bad for the body. Cortisol is the stress. Now your body is stressed. You don't want your body to be stressed. Female bodies should remain calm. We should have calmness. And what I mean is, I don't mean personality wise. Be erratic, be fucking crazy, be fucking mental, but try and regulate your nervous system outside of splashing your face with ice cold water or having a freezing shower or jumping into an ice bath. Those things aren't going to benefit everybody's body the same. Some women may thrive doing that, but women with PCOS won't most likely thrive. Now, I'm not going to talk for everyone with PCOS. Everyone is different. Everyone has different culture. Everyone has different XYZ, like I've said. But think about what spikes your cortisol. If you're trying to regulate weight loss within your body and your insulin and your stress hormones, would you go, you know what? I think a really good idea is to go on a really fucking stressful roller coaster. This will do wonders for my body. It won't. The adrenaline, the trigger, the trauma responses that happen, all in the name of discipline, it's just not giving, okay? So don't be doing that shit. Overall, that's some things that I've noticed that are more negative with weight loss, things that I've struggled with. I'm being genuine with you here. This is genuinely things that I've been like, fuck, I don't know if weight loss is for me. I don't know if this journey is for me. And then I've gone, you know what? I can do this. And it doesn't require a bunch of fucking crazy discipline and Wim Hofing yourself into a fucking cold plunge or punishing yourself or exercising hard the next day because you ate pizza. Like, girl, like this has to be a lifelong journey. That is all for my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have questions, please leave them down below. Send me an email, send me a message, send me an Instagram, whatever it is, and I can answer your question. Bye.